Good afternoon, folks. Just out here, snowy afternoon. Got my trusty AR 300 blackout. Kind of blocked off from my hunting spot because it's snowmobile trails. I might have been on some trails to get here anyway, but to where my normal spot's at, I can't get to. So I gotta try to walk in. I want to try to go get my trail camera where somebody takes that or finds it and takes it or whatever. I got a video I want to post. I just gotta get off my lazy butt and do it. I've been not feeling great lately. My knee's been giving me all kinds of problems. So, but anyway, can't let that slow you down. Yep. To get my camera, well, that video I was going to post, I made a video early in the year going out and stick cut my toe, setting up my trail camera, stealth cam trail camera, just a cheapo I've had for years, and there's quite a bit of snow. So anyway, when I went to go pull the camera card, my camera was gone. So I thought I might have put it in a different spot. But when I watched that video, putting it out there, yeah, it's definitely somebody found my camera sometime this summer and stole my camera. When I went to go find it earlier in the year, in the fall before hunting season, the ferns were so tall, you couldn't see anything because the ferns were so tall. But I checked the tree I put it on, according to the video. I checked that first and it was gone, so I figured I might have put it someplace in a different spot or something, but I'm pretty sure I did not. Pretty sure somebody got that camera. So now I'm only back down to two cameras. So there's some deer tracks. Must be from yesterday. They got snow in them. We got about, I don't know, another 5 inches or so last night. The ground's still not, of course, not frozen. So the snow kind of melts a little bit. I think I'm finally getting my driveway to where I got a good hard surface. To snowblow without digging up rocks or pushing piles. This is gonna be a long walk. Just take my time, take some breaks. I might see a deer. I did shoot a deer this year. I shot a doe. I think it was a Tuesday after opening day, which was the 15th of November. Yeah. First thing I shot in 4 years. But it's meat in the freezer. I've only seen one buck all year, and he just wouldn't give me a shot. There's just not that many deer left on the public lands of Michigan anymore. At least not in this area. It gets hunted pretty hard. All the early gun seasons and a lot of road hunting goes on around here. So a couple years ago I had 5 shooters on camera all at the same spot at the same time. I mean, a group of 5 shooter bucks. And 2 years later, I got one decent buck on camera, and I seen another buck when I was in, hunting in my stand. I seen him crossbow hunting, and he just wouldn't give me a shot. I called him back to me a couple times by grunting at him. He just never gave me a shot. He was in range, just would never stop. Someplace I can get a shot at him, so Whew. But I got the 300 black out. I don't know if you guys can see, but anyway, I got Barnes TAC TX bullets, hand loads that my buddy made. I gotta buy some stuff to eventually here to load them myself, because that's what I do. I like to load my own stuff. I got him started in it 20 years ago. Yeah. Before he moved out west, and then he came back to northern Michigan, and I was already up here. So, alright, here we're coming to these pines. I think should be. See, the deer don't have a whole lot of heavy-duty runways around here up this way. They go wherever the heck they want, whenever they want. Used to get some bait piles back in the day when baiting was allowed, but if you see runways now, that's probably because somebody's baiting. Try to keep the snow off the camera. I don't have a power pack with me, of course, but I got the extra battery, so if this one dies, I can change it out. Some of this stuff around here is pretty thick. I'm not sure if I'm taking the straightest course or not either, because I'm just going off of what's easiest looking like to walk through. Like back in the day, before the big baiting scare, I can remember coming up here with my cousin before I moved up here. We'd be getting truckloads of carrots and sugar beets. It was crazy. Putting out truckloads of bait at a time. And I heard they saw deer over the bait. That's earlier today. Might be bedded down in here somewhere, I don't know. The wind's coming southwest a little bit, I believe. There ain't much of a wind at the moment anyway. Just coming here this way tonight, this far, just to come in here so I get my camera. I won't hunt no more back in here this year. The county plows the road for a good distance, and then I can take a 2-track off the end of that and park in the corner of the clear cut. And I can hunt in that clear cut behind me over here to the southwest. Whew, I'm getting warm. I'd have to take off my... There we go. Okay. Give me a sip of my go-go juice. Everybody's got their poison to drink, and mine's Mountain Dew, of course. Some people it's Pepsi or Coke or Diet Coke or beer, scotch, whatever, you know. I cut quite a ways back since I spent that time in the hospital in August for that Lyme disease bull crap. But yep, this is how I stay in shape. I don't work out, go to a gym. Screw that. I'll strap a gun on my shoulder and take a walk in the woods, man. It's probably about, I don't know, maybe 8 inches or 10 inches of snow. Not a ton. I'm in the woods a little bit here too, so. But like I said, in my house, since the ground really ain't frozen, you get 5 inches and an inch melts overnight, so. Excuse me. So yeah. Yeah. I did shoot one doe. I got a tag left. I'd like to shoot a buck. But I mean, I can smoke another doe. I can kill another doe on my regular combo deer tag here in Michigan now. They want us to kill all the deer in the state. So, you know, politics. They come up with their own fake science to change rules. Oh, there's my normal 2-track. Phew, this will be nice. I come up pretty good spot. Ay. Whoa, that hurt. Normally I park right up there. Oh, you guys can see right up there, and it kind of makes a Y right there. And since my knee's been screwed up, that's where I park. My knee's doing good, I park way at the end. So I don't have to walk through onto the spot I want to hunt. Cut off deer that might come to me. So, but yeah, it's beautiful out. This is one of my favorite spots, is in these tall pines. There's a lot of coyotes out here too. So I brought my good old Randy Anderson hot dog, coyote call. So, and I shot my doe out here on the edge of this opening in this big field. That battery's pretty good still. Yep, I got her on the run. There was 2 of them. One took off. And I didn't see them because they were behind the trees out in the field, ways in front of me. And the one took off. So I looked over where that one came from, and I saw the tail twitch of the other one. And she decided she was going to take off, so I put the gun up, put the safety off, caught her in my scope, and let the bells ring. Meet in the freezer. Let her hang in the yard for like 4 days. And I skinned it out, quartered it, took it to my buddy's, put it in his fridge in a plastic bag for a week to give it a little bit of age. So I need to get an ambidextrous safety for my AR. My semi-automatic sporting rifle. One that Michigan's trying to ban again, even though the Supreme Court says you can't do it. Democrats don't care. Oh, let's not get political, but I just don't like people trying to take away my gun rights. Take away my gun so you can bring more of your illegals in here to flock our country with gangs and your own armed little army you're making. Cut that. I'm not talking about that. Here's a deer track. Right by the one I crossed in the woods there. No, this one's a small buck. You just go in that way. Yeah, that's just a little buck, it looks like. fingertips of gold. I sat up in that tree up there last year on the ground because the deer used to come out in this field here and to munch on the grass in the early parts of the fall. During the early season, they come out in that big field to eat whatever they can find, I guess. This time of year, we'll follow this guy's tracks. Let's see, it's a little deeper here. It's a little over a foot deep here. It'd be a little less deep in the woods. This is the woods I shot my last buck in. Got him with the old Barnett Raptor FX, I think it is. That's something I've had forever, and that was 4 years ago. So, I guess the last deer I shot till I got this doe. She went right down. It wasn't the best shot to put her, to take her off her feet and slow her down and stop her, but we ended it pretty quickly. I wasn't proud of the first shot, but she was running fast. And normally I shoot a 300 Weatherby Magnum, it's a whole lot faster. So normally if I lead them about 2 feet, it's right in the shoulder or right behind the shoulder. And this blackout just does not have the zoom that the Weatherby Magnum does. A lot of people say, you gotta use such a big gun for, because it puts them down. It doesn't do much meat damage, and it's accurate. It's loud. It sounds cool. It's just BA. It's a nice gun. I've had it for 30 plus years, probably a little over 30 years, 32, 33 years maybe. It's the when the Weatherby Vanguard first came out, I pre-ordered one from a place in not Traverse City, but in Port Huron. Wessel's, maybe? Wessel's Gun Shop, maybe? I can't remember what it's called. But, yeah. And my brown blind I built right over here, about 80, 90 yards away. I just got a cheap Simmons scope on here right now. I can't afford to buy a good one. This is just my head laying around. It's a decent scope. It's a mil dot scope. Works pretty well. There's not a whole lot of recoil in this gun, so get a little tap bands right here. Not a lot of recoil in it, so it doesn't rattle the scope around too much. That's the best thing about the AR-15 platform. So little recoil. Well, if we'd have been in our blind, we could have had a shot at this buck. I don't think he was very big, though. I got a big 9-point on camera twice this year. Whoa, falling over. A little spike down at the end of the woods, down at the north end of these woods. And a 4-point over here in the scrape hole. This little pocket in these trees over here where there's always at least 2 big scrapes. So yeah, I shot right over it. She come out right over here, and she ran about 100 yards that way, and I let the smoke out of her chamber. I like these woods. It's good woods for the bucks to travel. There's always scrapes on the outside of this field, but in the last few years we've been getting people that this is just a fire break on the edge of these trees, but it looks like a 2-track, so all the fudgies and stuff come up here and drive around, and even locals, they just drive the 2-tracks and they just drive the edge of this field constantly. So the big buck I got on camera twice, and both times was at 5:30 in the morning, about a month apart. So you can't pattern that. I don't know if we would, yeah, when he crossed back there, probably had a shot. Our blind's right over there. Camera should be right down here. Like a big old raven. A lot of ravens around here. Everywhere I go, there's ravens. And there's always one that likes to talk funny. Does all that weird calling noises and popping and chirping and clucking. It's pretty funny. Yeah, I had my tree stand set up over here. My climbing sticks and my JX3. I could do a review on that too, I suppose. That's a pretty cool unit. If you got back issues or something, it's an extremely comfortable stand. It's not, well, not really standing. It's like a saddle, but it's a, they call it a hybrid saddle because it's more like a seat hanging in the air. You ever worked on a steel site or steel construction site where you're sitting on a chair off a crane? It's kind of like that, but more comfortable. Well, you got some activity. I'm thinking about starting to do some trapping, but I don't know. I don't know what to be around here. Hoping to see some tracks in the snow, but some older deer tracks that are gonna go right past our camera. I'd almost like to just leave it out until it runs out of battery. Not a whole lot of people come in these woods, but I've had a tree stand stolen out of here before, so I hate leaving anything in the woods. Camera, yep, there's our camera. Oh yeah, he probably come right past the camera, whatever this was. You know, I think I'm just gonna change. Oh yeah, I do, right past that camera. I think I'm just gonna change out this card and just let it ride, man. If it ain't already dead, it's already dead, we'll take it. It's got plenty of life. I'm curious to see what's out here. I really like to put it out on the edge of the field with everything around, but we're just gonna leave it here. Okay, cards are in my pocket. Let's go to the blind for a minute, just sit down for a few and just get a little layout of the land. Give you guys a better view of what I see when I'm hunting in these tall pines like this. These rows of pines, as you can see, they're in pretty good rows. You'd think you'd be able to see through them really good, but you can't. Once you get on an angle, all them trees kind of fill in together. Kind of limits you pretty hardcore of where and what you can shoot at. If you get looking down one of the rows, there's a couple spots you can get a 200-300 yard shot down one of these rows if you sat right at the end of one of them. But all right, hey, our stool's still here. We're gonna do this. Hang out there for a second. Grab our tripod stool. Right, it's still here, but like I said, not a lot of people come in to these woods. Not a lot of people come into the woods, period. Everybody comes up here from downstate or wherever they come from for the opening of deer season, which, you know, it's just gun season. But yeah, I'm looking for something to knock them out there. But on the snow, they come up here for the gun season, and they come up here the night before season starts because they don't scout. They don't have time. So they come up here the day before season starts and drive out in edges of the fields and everywhere they can. You're not even supposed to be driving. They'll drive out there and just start plopping up ground blinds, pop-up blinds all over. So, whew, it's a hell of a walk. It's kind of what I'm looking at all the time when I'm sitting in here. Oh, I love this camera. This thing's pretty thick. These are some parts of a red pine stump, I think. I think there was a fire came through here a long time ago. There's a lot of logs out in the field out here that are burnt. They've been burnt for a long time. And these were piled up. I used to sit in it behind me over here a little ways. And yeah, don't worry about me talking loud. I don't care. I'm not too worried about it. Ain't nothing gonna get that close that fast that I'm not gonna see. There goes the cravens. There's two of them now, but I drug these things over here. Oh my god, that about killed me. But trying to adjust the camera to get some more height. But yep. One day I was sitting here and I seen a deer out in the field over this way coming through the thicket, but it gets pretty low back there and thick up through there, so I don't know where it went. I lost it over in there somewhere. I couldn't see it no more, and yeah, I didn't see it again. I guess that was a cheers to the camera because I just bumped the camera with my bottle. I guess a little quick look at my AR setup. That is a DPMS lower. I bought the DPMS complete setup when I first bought it. I don't know, 17, 18 years ago. And then 223.556. And I used that for years for coyote hunting and varmint hunting and whatever, you know, tiger practicing, just playing around, having some fun. And then I had to pick up a new brush gun, so I got this for a steal of a deal. A lot of guys are going to hate on it, but that is a Bear Creek Arsenal Bear Claw 300 blackout upper. Very cheap, inexpensive. Not cheaply. I don't think it's cheaply made at all. It's a pretty heavy barrel. Everything about it is very tight, very smooth. It is very accurate. And people say that they don't last. I watch videos where people have shot hundreds of rounds through them and not had any issues. And to me, that's more than enough because I'm not going to shoot at a ton because I can't afford to shoot that much anymore. I used to shoot a lot back when I first got into reloading and shooting when I used to have money. Yeah, I used to shoot my 500. I had a Colt Anaconda 44 Magnum 8-inch barrel. The first year they came out, I pre-ordered that too. Back in that day when it was first came out, it was $457 when that gun first came out. Now the new ones are like $1,200 or $2,000, and the old ones, like when I sold it, which is probably the biggest mistake I ever made in my life was selling that thing because I love that gun. But anyway, I sold it. But I used to shoot that thing every week. My buddy JR, when I worked at this deal, me and JR would go to the gun range every week in Port Huron. We joined it. You get a key, you pay for a key, and you can get in and use the 100-yard range pretty much anytime you want, as long as there's no competition, something like that going on, you know. So we'd go up there and shoot, and every week I'd shoot 500 rounds out of that 44 Magnum. Oh man, that thing was fun to shoot. It liked to eat bullets, man. But I'd shoot my Weatherby, 8 or 10 times. That's about all you can take out of that thing. That was before the lead sleds. That was just me off a sandbag to my shoulder, and you just can't. With that gun, you can't. It's hard to sit at a bench and shoot it without having a lead sled with a lot of weight on it, because it's got the magna porting, the original magna porting, just the slashes in it before the magna brake came out, and it keeps the muzzle down, but it makes the whole gun come back at you harder. Which, when you're hunting and you're shooting a deer, you don't even feel it. And now with the lead sleds, you don't even feel it either. But back in the day, I would have to get down on one knee and shoot off of one knee off a sandbag, or else it would scope me every time. It would brush my eyebrow. I had to take the scope caps off of it, because the scope cap, not the front one, just the back one, took the scope cap off of it to keep from the scope cap from brushing my eye. I'm not going to sit here long, because it's a long walk back to the truck, and I don't want to be trying to dance through them thicket, getting sticks in the eye. So, there's 3 or 4 ravens playing around. I think I'll take one more swig. 3 ravens. One was out there with one out in the field too. They like to cruise around me too for some reason. Okay, let's just wanted to sit here for a minute, catch my breath before I start heading back. I want to get out of here without pissing off too many snowmobilers. I came out here one day, I think it was last year, the year before, we had some early snow, but it was warm out. It's been cold here for weeks now. So, and now we got snow, and the trails are just, snowmobile trails now, basically. So, there's the other strap. It's caught in the middle. I was out here a couple years ago coming to my hunting spot, and I come across, that was three or 4 guys on mountain sleds. 3.5 inch, 4 inch paddle tracks. And there was like, I don't know, man, maybe 4 inches of wet, heavy snow, packy snow, the Frosty the Snowman snow. And I come across these guys on these snowmobiles, and boy, they were mad at me for being on the trails in my truck. But wherever they went, in them giant paddle track snowmobiles, everywhere you looked, there was nothing but dirt, because they were on the gas. Which, how can you not be on the gas? If they were on the gas, there was no snow left. So they're doing more damage to the trail than I could have possibly done, unless I was really burning on it. I wasn't. But, excuse me. Let's walk up to this field edge. Whew. We'll walk around the outside, and I'll take you to the scrape hole. I got trail camera pictures of 2 guys checking this thing out right before gun season started. So, yeah, I got pictures of 3 different trucks cruising the fire break before season. No, that was all during season. That was bow season. So, postseason used to be pretty decent. You didn't usually get a whole lot of road hunters or cruisers. Now, they're all over the place. And here in Michigan, you're not allowed to shoot from your truck. You're not allowed to drive around with your gun out of a case. You gotta have your gun, crossbow, bow, whatever, in a case. when transporting it in your vehicle. Unless you're a you have a CCW, which I do not. Well, your guns still have to be in a case, like your rifles and stuff, but if you're carrying a gun in your person, they don't have to be in a case. Pretty sure you have to still have your rifles and stuff in a case. That a log or a deer. Probably a log. If a head pops up, I'll know different. They like to feed out here a lot. In the evening, they come out of the woods over there at the west end. That'd be the south end. West is right in front of us. Pretty sure it's just they'll come from that way too. The buck I shot came with another buck that was way bigger than he was, and a doe, and they chased the doe out of the field, and of course the smaller buck came back because he wouldn't get in the doe from that big boy, and he came 30 yards behind me, and I stuck him. I think I was using the the hybrid ones. They were pretty good. I killed a couple deer with those. I really like my Grim Reapers though. That's what I use in my crossbow and my compound bow. Grim Reapers. I like the whitetail broadheads for my compound when I shoot it, when I can shoot it, with my shoulders being shouldery, tore up. But yeah, usually there's a little scrape there, but there was might be back farther down there. There's usually some scrapes along through here, and there are rubs to it too. You know, the winter it's always scrapes, but there's rubs. So I think that buck came out right here and went that way. Nope, that deer's going the other direction, I think. Yeah, that one's going. Oh, he's coming this way. That's the one that we were following in the woods there. But yeah, I didn't see many deer at all this year. And Stan, I've seen a few does. That most of them seen me. I have this problem where I don't get winded very often, even if the deer are downwind to me, but I get seen. They see me real easy. I don't know, and it's not every doe, but it was like 2 out of 3 this year that I seen. Which I only seen like I seen I seen maybe 20 or so doe. I don't want to go through that disaster. This way ain't much better, but it's better. I'll show you guys what I call the scrape hole. And it's just a little opening, as you can see. Big pines or tall pines are right here, and field right here. And there's usually a scrape right on one of these branches, but I didn't see one there last year. But I hunted back out of that spot one day. I hunted over here one day in the afternoon, just trying to catch one of them bucks coming to that scrape. Of course I didn't. But there was a big scrape right here on the ground. You can see where it's all caved in, like the branches are all tickled up. I don't know if you can see back in there. Right back in there. There's a big old scrape on a pine tree. We can take a walk. Let me knock some of the snow off this. I'm gonna get the camera full of snow. Lens looks good. See, there you go. There's a good scrape. Or rub, I mean, I don't know why I keep calling it a scrape. I was sitting in the tree down here last year, and a buck came in here. Last year, the year before, I don't remember. And a nice 8-point came in out of that. Came from that way and was dinking around up in here. I watched him make a rub, watched him make a scrape. And he gave me a shot, broadside shot, and I underestimated the distance. And I thought he was farther away than what he was, so I didn't shoot. But I had the cheap Barnett crossbow. I didn't want to wound a deer or nothing. Well, something's been into this scrape. Yeah, you walk right through it. This is another scrape here that come out of the scrape hole. You can see the branches up here broken off. All tickled up. Cherry tree. Some fudgy put his blind right here for opening day of gun season and left a roll of toilet paper all used up over there right behind it. I hunted here opening night in the woods in my blind, and this guy's buddy came to pick him up about a half an hour before dark, well before an illegal shooting light, you know, and never came back. So, he took his blind, but he never came back out hunting. I never saw him out here again. We left a mess over there. A lot of deer come out of that part of the woods over there and filter into this field to eat. Them does, they were over this way somewhere, but I was up on this side, right up over that way, and I could see them through the trees on this side. I could see the one that comes through first was bigger. The second one comes through wasn't bad. It's probably 2.5-year-old doe. There's this spot here with a scrape this year as well. So yep. Whew, I am roasting. I shouldn't have wore the wool again. I need to forget wearing wool with my wool shirt. I have a long sleeve wool shirt that I like to wear when it's cold out, because it'll keep you warm even when you get sweaty or wet, whatever. You stay pretty warm in it, but you gotta do a lot of walking and you get hot pretty fast. So I hate to have to go all the way back to my same spot to go in. I might come and cut it in here. Anyway, that deer came from over here. I shot it right out here, right out in this area somewhere, and she stopped over there, and I finished her off. I mean, we might walk up on a deer laying bedded down still or on its feet, and hope we can run into a big buck that don't see us until we get a bullet in them. But, you know, I don't have that kind of luck. My buddy he shot 2 nice bucks on his property here in Michigan, and he went to Illinois to his cousin's place, 60 acres in Illinois, to shot another monster buck down there. I mean, none of them are like monsters. I mean, for Michigan, 2 Michigan deer, very nice. He shoots 2 bucks every year off of his 60 acres. But he's surrounded by private land, with some public land off to both directions, a mile away or so. But it's got lots of places. A lot of people don't hunt. There's not a lot of hunting pressure around them. So, once you got food plots, and you know, you can do that when you have private property. You can put food plots out, but you can't do it on public land. Only private. You hunt the public land, you like hunting third world country. Whew. This is halfway up my shin deep here. I don't want to get in super thick. That's pretty thick. It's not terrible, I don't think, maybe. Cool down a little bit. Got a little teeny scrape there. Now the wind's actually coming from the northwest. It's coming from behind me right now. I'm standing facing southeast. It's hitting me in the back of the head. So the wind is the northwest. I need to get one of my buddies' snowmobiles I come on here and help my spot. Try to shoot that 9-point if it's still alive. I'm kind of curious to see what came by the camera there. And this is why I have a shotgun. On the single point, by the way. Whew, I said it, but I'm roasting. Open it up more. Unzip it some more. Phew. Hot cha 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 cha. Roasting. Looking for Best Avenue. A lot of times when coyotes are bedded up in this area this way and to the west of me, you'll hear them start howling a lot at night. I'm kind of surprised we haven't heard them yet. I don't want to travel too much west. I need to go south. The hardest part's walking a straight line to get where you're going. Oh, that was a hole. That hurt. Like we're extending my knee a little bit. Got a cheap dollar store knee brace on it to help hold it together so I can get in the, I can even walk around. At home's not too bad. I don't go very far, but coming out here doing this. I like to have it relatively held together. I wouldn't be surprised if we came across some deer. The road's probably only another 150 or 200 yards away. I'm looking like I'm better. Oh, we're doing pretty good. He'll probably die right before we get to the truck. I don't know. It's an old rub. Short steps so I don't overstep my bounds, blow out my knee. That's the last thing I want to do right now. Blow it out again. I blew it out when I dragged that doe I shot. I didn't have to drag it very far, but I twisted and the upper half moved and the lower half didn't. So I'm hoping that sometime after the next few months or whatever I can get in and get me a new knee. I'm probably going to miss a lot of ice fishing, but if I can get out for first ice or whatever, I'd be okay. Whew, man, roasty, toasty popsicle. I'm gonna wear my light gear for out here to do this. It's all in that wool. This coat's warm too, though. It's very warm. Big old pine right there. It's just, oh, that's the edge of the, I don't know what they are. There's some kind of pine or spruce or something over there. The shorter trees. They're not like the 2x4 trees behind us that we normally hunt in. These ones stay shorter, thicker branched. I thought that was the road, but I think that's just a tree laying down. That might be the road there, but I don't know. I'm going to take my time from here back to the truck, because I'm not that far. Nice to have something run into me. I can see it coming before it sees me moving. Oh, excuse me. So, deer tracks from a couple days ago. I'm pretty sure that's the road right there. I think, I don't know. It might not be. You know, could be walking a little parallel to the road. Old sets of tracks. I will go to this spot. I'm pretty sure it is the road. Just because I was on a little bit more of an angle than I thought I was, and my truck should be up over here a little bit, I think. I haven't crossed over my other tracks yet for the truck to be back this way. So it should be right up here somewhere. I think, I hope. Oh yeah, it's definitely the road. Yep, there's the truck. That fell down. Big old dead pine. I don't know if these are red pines or what these are, but spruce, I don't know. I'm not a tree expert, but you can see there's the bark. A lot of them. A lot of deer cross this road. If I was to shoot down the road, I'd have to make sure there's no freaking snowmobiles coming. You know, it sucks here in Michigan. December 1st, I can't hunt my spot no more that I've been hunting for 2 months. I can't hunt it no more because snowmobiles. Here in Michigan, they increased my fishing license that I usually use, just a regular old fishing license. They increased my license to an all-season license, all-species license type of deal. So the guys that salmon fish that were paying more, they can pay less now. So, but I gotta pay more. I don't even fish for the damn things. I don't care for the way they taste. It's not my thing. So yeah, there's a couple other things too that Michigan sucks at. It'd be a Weatherby shot down here. My goodness. I am roasting. Yep, here in Michigan, you gotta make sure when you put your firearm, rifle, crossbow, muzzleloader, whatever you're shooting, hunting with, has to be unloaded. And the muzzle, barrel, whatever, and the magazine has to be empty. And now, even the way the book reads, before, it didn't count for muzzle loaders because, you know, you take the cap off, it can't be fired, right? Well, not no more. It even says all firearms, you need to unload them. And muzzle loaders, I think, was included in the list. So now you have to discharge your muzzleloader every day when you get done hunting. If you hunt in the morning and you travel, you have to discharge it. If you hunt in the evening and you travel, you have to discharge it. There's a deer. What is that? I don't know what it was, but I saw a deer down there. Yep, and I hate doing what I just did. Using my my scope to check out a deer. You're not supposed to glass with your scope, but I know there's nothing there besides that deer. But I never usually do that. But I wasn't loaded either, so it was completely safe. You make binoculars for a reason, right? That deer was on the same side of the road as I was, probably. I turned around, it was into the woods already. I don't know if that was a buck or a doe. Pretty big deer, it looked like. So I think I can get up here and see tracks. We'll know what it was. Just wait. Keep an eye out in case he comes back out. Keep an eye out behind me. Make sure no one's coming. Got my thumb on the safety. Kind of hard to sneak when you're hobbling.
Big one, big male, orange throat patch.
Called the snowmobile. going through the field. Good. Taking the field. It's a funner route anyway, I would think, since this isn't really part of the trail. It's not marked as a trail in there where you just went. It goes around my spot. It's marked as a snowmobile trail. So, yep, there is that. And then the end of this road, the east end, is plowed by the energy companies to get into their stations down here. They can do their checks on gas wells and whatever else they got out here. Did we kick that out? I don't think so. I don't know where it came from. Come up the road, he jumped into there. I don't know. There's a couple little roads right there. I don't know what that deer was. I don't see tracks crossing yet. I don't see nobody coming. It'd be pretty cool to get a shooting a big buck on camera. That was a buck. He probably already knows we're here and he's already probably gone. But they do some weird stuff. It's pretty thick, so. He was right in here. I think he might have been up in here in the thicker stuff a little bit further. You can't sit on your truck with a loaded gun. They consider that a loaded weapon in your vehicle, which I believe is a felony. And it's a deer track going down the road, but I ain't gonna cross the road, I don't think. Meh. 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 That's my grunt call. It works pretty good normally on deer, does, bucks. I get them all come and turn around sometimes, but whether you can get a shot at them or not, it's another story. It's pretty sweet to see a big buck walk out 50 yards away or something like that. Ba-donk. I don't know where that deer came from, where it went. It was not that far off the side of the road when I first seen it. I don't think I would have shot at it with this gun anyway. It's a little too far. Or Weatherby I would have. Couple snowmobiles or a truck. He crossed right here. Yep, here's his tracks. We might have pushed that deer out, I don't know. Looks like a small buck. I thought there was two of them. Probably a doe and a buck. You can see the buck tracks are kind of The toes are a little more rounded off, and those are usually more pointed. They say one side of that track of the doe, or the buck, I mean, is bigger than the other, but not a very big track. So it might be a spike horn or something. Deer moving though. And like I said, I might have pushed them out too, because I was just walking through there. I was a little farther away, but I mean, I'm sure they could have heard. The good thing about this camera is you can go back to a video that you stopped recording and pick up on it again like you never stopped. Yeah, them 2 deer come across there. Yeah, battery died, so which didn't last longer than I figured it would out here in the cold. Lasted quite a while, over an hour, I do believe. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know, upper teens. Something like that. Yeah, before last couple years happened, since all these extra doe tags and stuff got taken out, and all these extra gun seasons, you can sit out here this time of day and you can just watch deer go back and forth across the road. Now, not so much. It just ain't the deer population no more out here. They've been getting gunned down pretty hard. There's still some, but and there's still, well, I don't know. I haven't got anything on camera to print me show that there's still a big buck around, but and them tracks right there, that just tells me that neither one of them are a big buck. But I see big buck tracks every year, man, out here, but I don't hardly ever see them on camera because they're pretty smart. They don't move in the daylight too much. I watched a buck a few years ago, big buck, giant, big 8-point, giant 8-point. First year I saw him, I tracked him and a doe, bow season, in the truck. I followed him on a 2-track up into a field. I got out of my truck, and the doe came out from behind a pine tree, and he came out right behind her, and he was about 85 yards away, and he was just a massive, giant, beautiful, perfect, typical 8-point. Beautiful, big buck. Tall tines, big heavy mass, real wide, and they bailed, and I tracked him and hunted him for a few years, and I don't know if somebody got him, I don't know. The one I seen this year on camera was the same one. I don't think so. Somebody already got him by now, or he died of old age or something, I don't know. Somebody probably shot him, but anyway, up in my tree stand up on the hill, up in the woods back there where I hunt. I call it the observation stand because you used to be able to sit up there and look out and you could see most of the field on both sides of the 2-track. And I watched this big buck one day come out of the thick stuff, walk up through the briars, lay down 15 yards from the 2-track in a little pocket, a little hole, and it's a little hole surrounded by briars. And I watched 2 or 3 trucks drive right past that buck, within 15 yards of it. Never seen it, and there was no way I could get to it because I was half a mile away or better. So I couldn't really get to him. And I watched him walk up, or stand up and just walk away. About an hour later, I really wanted to try to stalk him, but I just didn't think I'd be able to get across that much territory without him seeing me because he was facing my direction. And it would have taken me quite a long time to climb down, go back to my truck, and drive closer, which I could have done, but that would have taken probably even longer. And then you got another truck coming, one of those things. Friggin' goats. Yeah, our state. Insurance companies pay them millions of dollars to take out more deer, add more deer tags, and a deer. There's 2 million deer in the state of Michigan, but not on the public land, not up here, not where I hunt. Farmland, for sure. There's lots of deer in farmland where you can't hunt, but that's where the deer are at, and you can't crack down on the deer herd if you can't get to them. You get my drift. You can't hunt them on private land without permission or paying a ton of money for a lease, which I can't do that. Just that's paying for anything like that. It's not in my cards. I can hunt by my buddy and hunt by him, but that's, to me, that's a 50-mile round trip. That's a long ways away. Long ways to go to, possibly see a deer, and maybe not, Find my zipper here to get my truck keys out, get out my case. I got time left before end the shooting light, but I might just, what time is it? 5:10. We got till 5:33, so we might just stand here at the back of the truck and see if we can get something across the road and maybe schmuck it. I already loaded my gun because, can't have a loaded gun on your vehicle touching. Couldn't even be out here inside of your truck leaning up against it. It's considered in your vehicle. And that's no bueno here in Michigan. On my other camera, when it got hijacked, is got up in the next piece of woods. Little, I'm sitting on my truck. That's illegal. I do that. Sorry. Apologize. But somebody, here's a little travel path that goes in the backside of this woods, comes out of the thick stuff to the southwest, and they wind up going through this real big thicket up here, and I put it on a cherry tree, a split cherry tree. I put it on this side. When I post a video, you guys will see it. And yeah, camera gone. G-O-N, gone. G-U-N, gun? Oh, gone. G-O-N, G-O-N-E, G-O-N-E, gone. Big time gone. Excuse me. Need another stool to sit on. I don't know how I would. If I had a snowmobile to get over here to home my regular spot, I'm not sure how I would take the trails to get to here. I'd have to look at the map. Oh, yes, I am wearing orange. See, orange. I'm only required to wear a hat for the most part here. You can wear as much as you want, but you're only required to wear, I think it's supposed to be like 200 or 300 square inches or something. I don't know what it is. The book says a hat, cap, whatever, coat, jacket, bibs, full pumpkin suit, whatever you want to do. But you have to have his hats to be visible for 360 degrees, so it's not like a pair of gloves where you can put your gloves in front of you and hide. It has to be at least a hat. gloves are not on the list of legal orange. Like I have anything to sit on in the truck. Like a stool or a seat. My tripod's in the other. It's in the blind, but that'll probably be there till next year now. Tweaking my scope. I need to shoot this thing more so I can get way more familiar with it. Dial it in better. I only had a few of those TAC TXs. He's pretty stingy on those things. They're not cheap. The bullets are pretty expensive. So I bought a box of Hornadays. I think Hornadays might be VMAXs or something off of them as well. So I got those to tinker with. They shoot pretty close to the same as the other ones. It's the Barnes. I like Barnes solid copper bullets, man. They're bad. Been shooting them out of my muzzleloader for years. I used TEZs in my muzzleloader. Ones with the blue sabot. I used to use the Shockey's gold powder sticks, but you can't get them no more. You can get the FFG powder from the Clean Shot. That's what I have to wind up using starting the muzzleloaders. I haven't shot my muzzleloader in a few years because I can't afford to buy powder and stuff where I can't find what I like. And I normally crossbow hunt or bow hunt during muzzleloader season anyway. But this year it's muzzle gun season, so you shoot whatever's legal in your area for a firearm or whatever. You can even use air rifles now in Michigan. But yet they're trying to ban air rifles from children. How about that? Michigan. We're trying to ban air rifles from kids under 18 to possess and or use alone. If you're under 18, they would yeah. This yeah. Getting a little carried away, man. This new gun violence board we're paying for here in Michigan from our great Gretchen Whitler, female Hitler. You have to stay home during COVID, but I'm going to my house on the island of Mackinac. Crazy. Snowmobile coming. Hope he turns off. A couple of them coming. They're ripping pretty hard. They might not. We'll see if they turn or not. I'm not sure they're gonna, but they're ripping. Oh yeah, they're turning. Nice. I haven't seen any of them come out down here. They must be going straight through across the bridge, which I thought technically was closed because the bridge was out, but it's been open for a couple years now again. Our truck fell through the bridge a few years ago. Well, it took a few years for them to get out there and fix it, but 4 or 5 years ago at least, the truck went through the bridge, partially. Just a wooden bridge. The boards were all rotten. I'm gonna go hunt that corner maybe tomorrow, and then use my Weatherby over there because you can shoot a long distance through there. There's some little bit of brush and briars in the field, so I would really like to have a heavy, fast-moving projectile to smoke a big buck if it comes out. And I drove through there yesterday with the dog, and there was a lot of tracks in that back corner. So I tracked a deer last year from the road. It's 3/4 of a mile away or whatever from here. Where the snowmobiles turn, go back to the other direction. Here comes a vehicle. Go back the other direction, and I tracked some bucks back in the snow, way back in the thick stuff, back into the swamp, and I caught up to them, got caught up to them a couple times, but they were just way too fast and too thick of brush, and no chances for a shot. All right, well, I guess, folks, we're gonna call her a night, and come back out tomorrow, see what happens. I'll bring the old Weatherby out tomorrow. I think there's a spot I can sit back on a blowdown back there. It's kind of up elevated off the ground I can sit on. So, all right, there you go, folks. Have a great day. Take care. See you on the next round. Peace out.